Adrian, welcome to another opt-in.
Oh, thank you.
Right before we hit the record button, you told me that you have a lot to say about leveraging job descriptions for prospecting. So
Pull back the curtain on this one.
the floor is yours. Tell me all about how you would ideally like to leverage job descriptions in your prospecting.
Yeah, this was something that I did fairly regularly, I would say, as an SDR. When it came to building up like a research database, I guess you would call it, of things that you look up about either a person or a company before you reach out, like getting that whole show me, you know me stuff down, building up enough of a use case for them to actually respond to your email. One of the big things that I leveraged was going onto whatever the company that I was prospecting, going onto their careers page, looking up the job descriptions that they had, and then noticing from those descriptions what the biggest needs at the company were at that time. So let's say, hypothetically, I'm selling a piece of SaaS technology to marketers. I go on the job description or careers page, look at the job descriptions for the open positions that they have, and I noticed that they're looking for someone who's on the UX team, a product marketing manager, and then somebody who needs to build out their CRM. I don't know, I'm just making all this up on the fly. Let's say my solution hits on maybe two of the value points that I have hit on some of the things mentioned in those job descriptions. What I would do is I would literally screenshot the job description, highlight in the screenshot where they said they needed somebody to do this task, and then show them my product, essentially how it does that thing. And, you know, it's an easy leading where it's like, I noticed on your careers page that you're looking for someone to help with UX design. We've been able to help companies like you bolster their UX and increase retention by 250%. I don't know, making up statistics, but like tying that thing that they've publicly said they need help with to what my product can accomplish. Not to replace the need for that individual, but to show them that when that person gets onboarded, because ultimately that's their goal, is to hire someone for that, they should be leveraging my solution to make their life and then other people's lives and jobs easier. So it was a great lead-in for me for a lot of the accounts that like don't have a big public presence. If I can't find stuff on their news page, if their executives don't have a big LinkedIn presence or Twitter presence or whatever, and I can't pull quotes or whatever, without fail, there's always going to be open positions on that company's careers page that I can go in and leverage to pull into my prospecting.
Interesting. Yeah, I really like that strategy. I can't say I ever employed that as an SDR. I could see it being really useful.
Out, man.
Right, because you already have, right, assume you have an ICP and you have these personas that have these job titles. So what you're kind of doing is you're getting into the company before those people are even hired, reaching out to, I assume you knew the title that was above them, right? So you'd reach out to that director, C-level, whatever. And just let them know, like, hey, I see you have a need for this. That I think that's really smart.
I'll caveat this by saying it hinges a bit on working with either like a management or AE team that's okay with having like preliminary conversations with people that might not have a need at that exact moment. Oftentimes I was setting up calls where someone's like, yeah, you know, our goal is to onboard this person in like 3 months or within the next 3 months. So ultimately they'll be rolling out projects in 6 months, and that would be a really good time for us to take a look at something like what you're selling. Knowing that and having that call set up with an AE and telling them, look, this isn't an immediate opportunity, but in 6 months, this will be pipeline revenue for us. It takes a little bit of schmoozing. It takes like a good relationship for the SDR and the AE to have to like be comfortable setting something like that up. So it's not for everyone. But what it did was made sure that my pipeline was almost always full, and I could pinpoint in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months when we were going to have fruitful conversations that were set up in the past.
Yeah, and I would even say, even if your AEs or your managers don't want those sort of educational or preliminary calls, just take them yourself as an SDR. Then it becomes sort of just the SDR pipeline. Obviously doesn't go into the forecast and sort of that stuff, but if you can say you have a slow week, but you can say like, hey, next week I'm reaching out to A, B, and C because they finally onboarded that person. That's huge. That'll have the same end result. You're just going to have to do maybe a little more work. It won't show as much on the front end. The other thing that I wanted to ask you about this really quickly, I know we sort of just hit the timer. Did you ever use this to find new accounts to prospect? Like, would you ever go on Indeed or something and just like look up that job title and see the companies that are hiring?
Yeah, it was, I didn't use Indeed. I typically used LinkedIn for it.
Sure.
You can set up job alerts on LinkedIn. They don't know that I'm, as an SDR, if I'm looking up product marketing managers, for example, and I get alerts sent to my inbox about openings for product marketing managers, because I've targeted that individual as sort of like the key onboarding piece to get my solution set up. It just looks like I'm an SDR looking to move into product marketing. LinkedIn is more than happy to send me saved search results on that. So my inbox on a weekly basis would get flooded with 10, 20, 30 sometimes openings. And I would go through that and identify companies that looked like they'd be a good fit ICP wise and add those net new to my outbound cadence, provided that they're not suppressed in some capacity. And I check with my AE and manager, but I was able to add sometimes 5 net new target accounts a week, just doing that, setting up a simple saved search result through LinkedIn Jobs.
Amazing. I love it. Great strategy.
Something to consider for SDRs out there.
Yeah, let me just go back to being an SDR and fix, since I never did that the first time around.
Yeah, let me just hop in the time machine real quick. Pop back to I did this probably at 9, 12 months in. So it took me a little while to figure it out. But if I was doing this from day one, be rolling in money.
All right, AJ, 15 seconds. Tell everybody about Opt-in.
Opt-in, quick 5-ish minute videos, actionable sales development tips, minimal fluff. You can find us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on our Instagram, and on the website, demanddrive.com.
I wouldn't be rolling in money. I mean, Scrooge McDuck diving into a pool of gold coins.
That's gotta hurt, right?